Shalom, and welcome to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. This is a recording of a Yizkor sermon with Rabbi Rebecca Schatz.
As I mentioned before when speaking to Janet for her sister's yahrzeit, I mentioned that even on days that are full of joy, just like at a wedding, we break a glass to recognize that the world is not perfect and that there are also moments of sadness in every moment of joy. Zoe did a beautiful job of sharing that with us in terms of her relationship and the loss of her cousin. And I hopefully am going to take Yizkor and not make it something that is only sad, but is a perspective of life that also is hopefully filled with moments of joy. And yet we turn to a moment, because today is Shavuot, to think of those who are no longer here. And that is sad, and it is still coupled with a bat mitzvah. But we're going to take a few moments to be able to think of those in our lives, in our world, who are not here today and who we are thinking of even in joyful moments. One of the most tragic parts of grief is loneliness. Walking into a home and not hearing the response of a loved one. Sitting on the couch and not feeling the warmth of that someone sitting next to you. Doing errands and not buying those particular popsicles that they used to love and insist were always available. Some may define these moments as sad, but really they're more than sad. They are a reminder of absence resulting in loneliness. As we have all experienced, one may be surrounded by hundreds of people, but if you are not connecting with anyone, you feel invisible and alone. Therefore, even through the power of a funeral or shiva, we enter back into life, hopefully blessed with community around us, but still experiencing a void defined as loneliness. Yizkor is hopefully the antidote to some of that loneliness, standing amongst family and friends and taking dedicated time to conjure up a person in your mind and heart who you miss so deeply, imagining them next to you and truly feeling their presence. Ani mele'ah halachti verekam heshivani Adonai. I went away full, and Adonai has brought me back empty. These words, said by Naomi and Megillat Ruth, which we read earlier, sound like anyone in painful grief. How have you given me such joy, such love, such partnership, such company, and then taken it away, leaving me empty of that connection? We say as we rip our clothing during Kriya, Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach, Yehi Shem, Adonai Mevarach. Adonai gives and Adonai takes. May the name of God forever be blessed. Naomi continues in the Megillah by saying, Lama tikra'ena li Naomi, ve'Adonai ana vi, ve'Shaddai her'ali. Why do you call me Naomi, when Adonai has answered me and Shaddai has shattered me? Rashi comments that Naomi truly feels that God has plagued her, her'ali, and therefore it is not accurate to call her Naomi, a name meaning my delight. Naomi feels empty and changed from her husband and sons dying. However, I want to point out that Naomi never mentions feeling alone, empty and shattered, but not lonely. Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz teaches on this verse that, quote, I went full meant with a husband, children, and possessions. And, quote, the Lord returned me empty meant coming back with nothing. In this interpretation, it could very well mean that Naomi felt lonely. But for a text that prides itself on choosing language intentionally and carefully, I would have expected that here too. After Naomi's husband and sons die, her daughters-in-law help her back into the world after initial days and weeks of mourning. Vatakom hi v'chaloteha v'tashav misdei Moav. She got up with her daughters-in-law to return from the country of Moab. Ruth and Orpah literally lift her from Shiva, as we do today, to return her to her home, to bring her back into the life she knows and knew. However, she is entering into loneliness with company. Her daughters-in-law by her side and very much supporting her reconnection in the hopes of feeling loved and cared for, not lonely. As Zoe taught us earlier, the most recognized words of this Megillah come from Ruth after her mother-in-law insists that she is not in need of her daughter-in-law's company. She says, "Your sister went, and you should go with her to be with your family." Vatomer Ruth al tifga bi le'ozvecha leshuv me'acharecha. But Ruth replied, "Do not push me to leave you. Do not turn back and follow you. Because wherever you go, I will journey, and wherever you sleep, I will stay with you, and your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Ba'asher tamuti amut vesham ekaver. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Ki hamavet yafrid beini uveinecha. For only death will separate me from you." Ruth had no idea if things were going to go well for her or if Naomi was going to feel better with her around. But she knew that in grief, someone needs connection, and above all, love. Mother Teresa taught the most terrible poverty is loneliness and the feeling of being unloved. Even if Naomi was going to feel alone without her husband and sons, she would never live a day feeling unloved. That was Ruth's gift. Unknown ways to help or solve, but a need to be close and share an emotional attachment. Famously, our rabbis teach in Pirkei Avot, "Ve'oseh lecha chaver," and make for yourself a friend. We could read this similar to the piece in Breshit in Genesis about the first human needing a helpmate, because it's not good for a human to be alone. The Shnei Luchot Habrit commented on this idea that making for yourself a friend by teaching that rabbis before him in the Talmud said, "O chevruta o metuta." Either you choose friendship or you choose death. What our rabbis in Ta'anit are sharing is that loneliness is not a way to live, and that we should make sure not only to make friends for ourselves, but make sure that we are also a friend to others. Ruth did not know if she would feel alone by spending her life with Naomi, but she knew that Naomi would have a partner and a companion and someone to love her and care for her. Zoe, it is important to become a bat mitzvah in community because you realize that through all of life's moments, ups and downs, happy and sad, that you have people around you. That without community, those moments can feel very lonely. And even if in those moments we experience loneliness, we know others who have experienced similar rituals and that we are not alone in sharing in those moments. Yizkor is a time for us to remember those who made us feel least alone in life. Those who allowed time to pass without watching the clock. Those who we never wanted to stop laughing with. Those who taught us what it meant to love deeply with and for something and for someone else. Those who we are blessed to feel lonely without. I heard a piece of Torah recently from one of our congregants about the words we say when we are ending a Shiva minyan, Hamakom Yenachem. The teaching was that the words are actually in the future tense. God will comfort you. You may not feel comforted right now, but comfort is coming and will arrive and will not erase pain or grief, but will remind you of the beautiful memories and life lived. Yizkor is sad because we enter back into that feeling of loneliness without someone physically near us. And Yizkor is profoundly beautiful because we are each of us remembering someone, maybe the same person, but differently and feeling their presence as fully as before. Zoe, you live life like Ruth. You are fierce and strong, not only, but also in a sport that you found through grief. You had no idea what life would be playing softball, but you went after it. And you have found community and I hope a bit less loneliness and more connection to your cousin through being the amazing catcher that you are. May you, Zoe, continue to grow into a person who knows when following will allow for you to find pathways to lead. And may you, like all the people in this room, remembering someone today, continue to find yourself in Jewish spaces where community and ritual and togetherness allow for depth of emotion and connection to those who we miss and those who are near to us today.
You've been listening to another in our series of podcasts from Temple Beth Am, a dynamic center for conservative Judaism in Los Angeles. If you enjoy these podcasts, we invite you to write a review on the Apple Podcast website or wherever you get your podcasts. For more information on Temple Beth Am, Los Angeles, please visit www.tbala.org.